Welcome everybody to the Philly Feed podcast. This is episode 7. My name is Nathan, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend, Mr.
By
Eric
me.
Jacobson. And this week, we are going to be talking about games, gaming news, etc. And the highlight of this week is that Grand Theft Auto 5 has recently released for PC, and I'm going to put a sort of warning right at the beginning saying that we'll probably be talking about this for most of the podcast, I would wager. So if you're not interested in GTA 5, you might as well just click away, because that's what this is going to be about. Because we've waited a year and a half for this. So it's really exciting. I have played about 7 to 9 hours, I would wager, of the game. I just rescued Tracy from Fame or Shame. For those of you who have played all the way through the game will know what mission I'm talking about. So that's sort of my experience. And Eric, would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat, except for I'm about 6 probably hours in, and I'm only to the part where you talk to Lester and you start this cool heist. So,
Yeah. So you're I told you this today actually, but that mission that you're about to go through is really cool. I haven't tried GTA heists at all, but like if that heist is similar to like the multiplayer heists, I'm not sure if there are other single player heists that you go through for Lester, then that's awesome, because that mission is particularly cool. But I would like to give my first impressions so far. The number one thing that has stood out to me for the PC version, other than the fact that it runs at 60 frames per second and looks pretty good, that's kind of a given just because it's on PC now. But the number one thing that I've been impressed with the game so far is the voice acting in that game.
yes,
Like, oh, I'm so impressed because
so good.
yeah. So I haven't seen pretty much any gameplay from console versions, so like I was going into this game with like a fresh slate, and I purposely did that because I wanted to have the full experience when it came out on PC. But like Franklin's voice acting and like Lamar is like, to me, is so realistic. I don't know what it is. It's just like they're using all of the right slang that you would expect, like a couple of gangster, I guess, more like ghetto black guys to use. I don't know. Maybe that's
I
being
mean,
racist, but
no, they're gangster. Like, they're literally gangsters.
yeah,
They're
they
gang.
are.
So that would be the correct term.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, seriously,
that's awesome.
it's ridiculous. And honestly, like, in the past, Grand Theft Auto stories have not ever like caught my attention. They've never been that good. But this one's good. Like,
Yeah.
and it might, be kind of simple, and some people might say it's kind of recycled from old games, but I think it's just better because you just like you kind of feel for the characters. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course you know what I mean. You kind of feel like you have an emotional attachment to this storyline
Yeah.
more so than you would in other Grand Theft Autos. Like, I pretty much, and this might just be my thing, because I pretty much play Grand Theft Auto to fuck around. Like that, the first like couple Grand Theft Autos I played, I was just like going around killing people because I was 12 and I still do that. But point being, I never really got into the story of any of them, and I don't know if that's because like they didn't impress me from the start, or it's just I wasn't that into it at the time. But this story's way better, so.
Yeah, I haven't. So I've played maybe an hour or two of GTA 4, so I don't really know much about GTA stories in the past. But I will say that I am definitely interested in this story, and I like it really helps to have really compelling and interesting characters. Quite obviously, GTA has that going for it, where you have such a variation of people that you're playing as, and like different, like everything is always different. Like you run across a lot of new experiences, I would say. For example, you could be playing as Franklin, and you're dealing with some gangsters in some random ass ghetto. You could be playing Lester, and you're doing meth in some hillbilly ghetto area as well. Or you could be Michael, and you're in some rich neighborhood like executing a guy. You never really know. You never really know. But yeah, story is super awesome. I haven't even gotten that far into it. Like, that's the thing, is like I actually want to see what happens, because I don't know if you've unlocked you haven't unlocked Trevor, have you? Yeah.
Nope, haven't
Okay.
even seen him.
So
Besides from the first scene.
um I mean, once you unlock Trevor, like then the story gets going a little bit more where like now they have more goals, like they want to bust their friend out of jail and stuff like that. And it's like I want to actually like do these missions because I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Um
I,
so, yeah.
I can I comment on a couple things.
Yeah.
So I really like the variety of the characters, especially because this game to me is a lot more realistic than other games. First of all, because you have
Yeah.
first-person mode, which
Yeah.
is super cool. It's a little clunky sometimes, especially driving. Driving is not that fun in first-person mode, just because it's really hard. But I just like that the characters are so like different, and you can play as someone. Like I can play, every video game is kind of a fantasy fulfillment. So I can play a guy who's rich as hell from robbing banks, and a gangster living in kind of a low blow area where I have to kind of like fight my way through some stuff, and like I can play Trevor, who's crazy and just doesn't care what anyone thinks or what any of the consequences will be of his actions.
He's a loose cannon, man.
Yeah, and that's really cool to me because I can't do any of this in my real life. And that's, I think, kind of the main point of these games in the first place. But I think this one really nailed that compared to like Grand Theft Auto 4, especially just because, game graphics have gone so far and the physics have come so far. Just so many like mechanical things, even simple stuff like motorcycles in this game are much better. Just because like in the other games, if I hit a mailbox, you'd go flying off your motorcycle. It's like I don't want. That's not. I mean, that's kind of realistic, but that's not fun, right? I can't. I keep like literally can't drive a foot until I hit something and fall off. So, they just nailed this game. They just nailed it. It's fun.
And I mean, you have realism to me down to like, last night it was nighttime, it was raining, I was driving my car, and I tried to take a 90-degree turn, and like, when it's raining outside, the road is slippery as hell. Like, you are not going to be making 90-degree turns when it's raining, and it's like little stuff like that is awesome. Like, okay, you can go up to your son's room and take a rip from his bong. Like, to me, that's just hilarious, and it's also, I don't know, just like small things like that just make things so much better. And so like, if you would, talk about realism even more, I think in terms of graphics, it is definitely an improvement from GTA 4. It's very much an improvement from console versions. I was watching some like Easter egg footage just out of boredom, really, and people were showing Easter eggs on like Xbox 360, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I have this for PC because that looks like garbage.
Yeah.
Like, that is seriously from, I don't know, 2007.
And you're kind of lucky because you have a nicer. I mean, you're not lucky; you earned it, but you have a nicer graphics card than I do.
Yeah, but I mean, not.
But like
yeah,
my settings are not good. Like my texture quality is the same as the one that you sent me. The picture you sent me the other day, they like suck. Like
Well,
and I just don't like it's it's got that whole video memory thing going on where like
Right.
you can only have a certain amount of. I mean, you have obviously a certain amount of video memory, but like the game restricts you based on that.
yeah, it actually doesn't. My video memory is currently pushed past its limits, I'm pretty sure.
I can't push mine past. It's just apply changes. It says video memory exceeded. The selection setting required more video memory than is available. Please lower your settings. It won't even let me change
Okay,
it. So.
Okay, so then what I must have done is, like, turned up all of the settings and then never hit apply because I think that's when it restricts you. Okay, never mind. Well,
Gotcha.
okay, well, what I did is I turned down, shadows. I have 2 times anti-aliasing and 2 times, anisotropic filtering.
I don't even see anti-aliasing either on here.
It's like the 5th option, I want to say. It's kind of near the top. But I run at 1600 by 900 resolution. So with a GTX 770, which is what I have, I get an average of 70 frames per second with those settings. And like I would say, above all, keep your textures maxed.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I
turn down
wanted.
everything else before you turn down textures because textures are the graphics essentially.
Yeah.
Like lighting is, it's important, but it's not super important when it comes to like just looking good.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, like in terms of if you're trying to get as many frames per second as possible. But the graphics are pretty good, I think. Like they're good enough because I really think for development of this game, the developers had to split graphics versus optimization.
Yep.
In where so in open world games always have this dilemma where okay you're trying to render a massive chunk of space. How like good graphics will sort of exponentially lag down a system because you're trying to render all of this data at once.
Yeah.
But like you also have to make the game look good, so you kind of have to find that balance. And I think that they hit it pretty well. Like
Yeah.
everything looks good enough to me.
And
Like yeah.
another thing is I made the mistake of putting it on my hard drive, my hard disk drive.
Oh yeah.
And I actually, that's why I told you I uninstalled World of Warcraft for the first time, which is a new thing for me.
Oh, so you had to make room
So
on your
I had to,
hard disk
I had to
drive?
just, no, I didn't have to make room, but it was so like slow that I had to uninstall stuff because
Oh.
it was, I don't know, like it, I don't know the science of it. I should, but I don't. So I just had like pretty bad frame rate. It was kind of choppy and skippy and stuff like that. And it might have been the drivers, but I also just went through and uninstalled some stuff and I reinstalled the new GTA 5 drivers and um, all that stuff. And it just ended up like it's way smoother now. So
Um, I was thinking about something I can't remember.
and
Oh,
I have a solid state like empty right now that I totally could have used and should have used, but I just was too dumb and didn't do that. So
yeah. I mean, the thing is, the game is 60 gigabytes, so
yeah.
that's going to almost instantly fill whatever empty space that you might have. Because I'm running like a 240 gig solid state, I think, on my
Same.
desktop, and I like it is almost full right now, and like Windows takes up so much, or maybe I just have other shit on there, maybe like programs and stuff, but I don't know. GTA pretty much filled it, and like yeah. Let's see. Oh shoot! Hang on one second. There we go. All right, there's something else. One second. I wanted to bring this up. Oh, so, the other thing that I'm waiting for still actually, and hopefully this will be amazing in a month's time, is like the mods for this game,
Yeah.
right? So, like we're playing a vanilla version of this game, and mods very well might make everything just that much
Better.
better.
Yeah.
People might come out with like optimization mods, high resolution texture mods. I mean, people are probably working on mods right now, and like there's also mods for just ridiculous crap. Like in GTA 4, you had that mod that would like instantly accelerate your car to like 200 miles an hour, and you would fly and stuff like that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
watched a bunch of videos that had that. Um, but yeah, mod support is going to be amazing. That was kind of the whole stigma of the
Yeah.
PC version too. Like, that's what everybody was waiting for is mods. So, I think we'll probably have to give that a month's time, and then the game will be even better, which is
Which is
awesome.
awesome. I mean, it's such a cool like the open world is big. Like it's as big as the
It
old
is.
San Andreas. If you've ever played that, it's the same world, which is really cool. And also, I think it's modeled after LA
Yeah,
because there's a few things, or the LA area, not necessarily just LA, but
yeah.
um, yeah, it's cool. It's
Um,
just expansive and fun.
There was so I've been to LA once. I live in Minnesota, obviously not California, but um, like I was telling you today, actually, there is for this one mission you have to go to the FIB as it's called, instead of the FBI, and like talk to this guy, and like he's located in this touristy kind of area. I don't even know what the building is called. Maybe I'll edit in a picture later because I have to render this
Yeah.
video anyway. But I had gone to that area in person, and I was there in GTA 5, and I'm like, holy crap! Like I know this place. This is so weird. This is so surreal. And like there was like sections of the place where you can like there's some picnic tables set up or some sort of table where people would like hang around, and I was like, oh well, maybe they have that in GTA 5 as well. And I looked, and it was there, so I'm like, holy crap, mind blown! This is just awesome.
Another thing about this game, we're just going to keep praising this game, or at least I am. The cars are really close to real cars.
They're
like,
oh, they look so cool.
Like right now, I'm in game just to kind of play around with it and see the frame rate and stuff like that, and I can point out an Audi R8. I can point out what their version of the BMW, the Mercedes, all these super nice cars that I wish that I had. I can have in this game, and that's something that hasn't been in the other games because they're kind of close, but they're not as close as this game. And like you can point out, like I could go find a Land Rover and drive that, and I couldn't do that in any other game. So it's just awesome.
Yeah, like I honestly think the cars look awesome. Like that isn't anything new. Like a lot of games have really cool looking cars, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it makes it that much better. Maybe I'm just biased and that I just love this game so much.
Yeah.
But oh, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Something with cars.
I'm a big car guy too, so I mean this is like heaven for me.
Yeah, and you can. So I don't know if you can save cars. Like they supposedly you can save cars in your garage, but I don't think it's like Saints Row where you just like save a copy of that car essentially and just spawn it anytime you want. Like I think it's just like there, and once it is destroyed, it's gone.
Yeah.
But like one thing that I noticed is that so if you're like this shouldn't be impressive, but I was impressed by it for some reason. But like if you're in like a poorer neighborhood, like there are really shitty cars to match the sort of wealth level of the neighborhood. Like when you're playing as Trevor, you will never find like a really nice car.
Yeah, but you go to the hills and you find, you know, like Bugattis and, you know, these like super nice cars that are just millions of dollars.
And like I find that, you know, like ATVs, like four-wheelers, are much more common in that sort of ghetto hillbilly type of area too. Like I don't know, it's just kind of cool that they can match the region, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, have you had a chance to fly at all in the game?
No, I haven't had that chance yet.
Okay, well, again, not much GTA 4 experience, but GTA 5 flying I found was pretty difficult. I think I like it that way, kind of, more so in the online sphere, because I think flying should definitely be something that you build in terms of a skill, and like if you are playing online with other people, like you should be able to be a better pilot than somebody else. Unlike Saints Row, for example,
where it's just so easy.
Yeah, you just kind of press WASD and spacebar. But I think it's perhaps a little bit easier than Battlefield, like the new Battlefield games. But still, I don't know. It's just kind of different because on the PC version, your controls are WASD. So like if you're in a helicopter, W and S is your altitude, A and D is to turn left or right, like rotate left or right. 8 and 5 is to tilt forward and back, and then 4 and 6 is to roll left or right.
So using the D-pad, right?
Yeah.
The number pad.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
the D-pad.
So it's like that was definitely a different control scheme, because like in Battlefield, if flying a helicopter, you literally just mouse, you know, you move your mouse forward and you go forward. But I don't know, I just thought that was a different kind of control scheme.
Yeah.
Kind of different.
Interesting.
Oh, what else can we say? Oh, I like the difficulty of combat. I feel like it's decently realistic in terms of how fast you die. So if somebody has an assault rifle and they get like a nice burst on you, maybe 5 or 6 shots, like you will definitely die. If you round the corner and somebody has a shotgun and they meat shot you essentially, then you'll die as well. And like I like how you're always on your toes in terms of
Yeah.
like, you know, if you're in the CQC situation and you don't know what's around the corner, you have a very real possibility of just being like dead, which is cool. I don't know.
And like the cool thing, like I don't know if they have this in other games, but like can't you can knock people out too
Yeah.
because they have like kind of a stealth mode.
Yep.
Like you can just go behind people and knock them out, which is also very cool. But you can do anything in this game. I swear to God,
Yeah.
it's just really cool.
You can so when you're Franklin, you I think when you get done with a mission or when you're starting a mission, you I think you end a mission. You're in the strip club and you can like go up to the counter where the girl is dancing and you can press spacebar to make it rain. And like I don't know what happens. I don't know how much money you lose, but like I was really tempted to make
Dude,
it
I would
rain
do
for
that.
this girl.
Why not?
But I was not sure how much money I'd be losing. I did pre-order it, so I have like $500,000, but I'm still like a piece of shit. I'm like, no, this is my money. That actually doesn't exist.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm like, I don't know, with the whole money thing. Like I like that we have $500,000, but I don't know if I want to spend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Um,
it's a thing.
I think heists give you. Well, okay, when you do the first heist for Lester,
You have to
I
pay back someone, so
yeah, but I think in total you get around $30,000. I want to say that's about what I got. I think I got
Okay.
around $37,000, which is a lot. But
that's a decent amount.
I mean, so you have a good way of like reestablishing your income.
Yeah.
But like there's like a mission where you had to like go and I already told you this, but I'm just gonna repeat it for people watching. That there's this for this mission you have to get a suit for Michael, and that was like $5,000, and like for some reason all of the money is on Franklin. So once you run out of money though, you find how little ways there are to just make $5,000 on the spot. It would be awesome if there was a way to like sell cars to like a fence, because you could literally just go take a car and then sell it for like $5,000. You know, you don't even need market price because obviously it's in the black market.
Like Franklin starts out doing repo jobs, and you don't even make money for that, do you? You just
No.
have to do it.
Yeah, it's just part of the story.
Yeah.
What else? We're
I mean, we're not that far into it, so there's not. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, we don't know much about character development or anything like that. That's super obvious with talking about this game. So
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Trevor is honestly like. Again, the voice acting is so good that I am like a little bit more cautious, almost subconsciously, when I'm like playing as Trevor or like doing one of the stories, because that guy is freaking scary. Like he will just like the first time you meet him, he just kills a guy. So you're like, okay, what the fuck? Like, you know, Michael did some mercenary jobs or had to kill people as part of his bank robbery jobs, but like still just like watching Trevor just kill somebody off the bat for no reason is like, holy shit, dude. His personality though, like I want to look up the voice actors to these guys because they just nail the personalities of these characters. It's great.
I know there's a lot of famous voice actors that do a lot of other video games. In this one, I believe.
Yeah.
I think like there's one guy that like is the guy from Uncharted and a bunch of other games that he does.
There's I think the guy who did Booker DeWitt from BioShock. I don't know if he's in this game, but he's like the only major voice actor that I could recognize. Pretty
Yeah, I
much
think
from
that's the
from
one.
the
I think
game.
that's the same one that I'm thinking of.
I'm looking. Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of games. I'm just gonna look up some voice actors for GTA 5. Burt Reynolds. What? Okay, well. Okay, so let's see. Tier reporter. Hang on. We got a cat. I need to.
Hello,
There we go. All right,
cat.
so let me look up like Michael Townley. Michael. Oh. right, never mind. Oh, this is in the entire Grand Theft Auto series. Holy crap. Alright, never mind. I'm not looking through all these. Oh, I guess Sam Jackson voiced Officer Frank Tenpenny, the main antagonist of GTA San Andreas. Didn't know that. Huh. I don't know. Is there anything else to cover for GTA 5?
I don't think so. There's just not. I mean, we haven't played that much, so.
Yeah, so we haven't finished the game. But like, I don't know. I've been having tons of fun. So.
For sure.
Okay. So the other thing, I guess, if we want to move on to a different game.
Sure.
I wanted to talk a little bit because I don't really have that much experience. Mortal Kombat 10 released last week, I want to say, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I don't have anything to talk about it, I guess, specifically. It's just, we were looking at some of the fatalities in that game. That was
Nuts.
so brutal.
Just nuts.
I've heard more secondhand because I was watching Total Biscuit on the Co-optional podcast, and he said that the fatalities for this game, in comparison to previous Mortal Kombat games, were like super brutal. So that's awesome. And that's like fatalities are such a good thing to have in a fighting game because it's like you just spent, the last, I don't know, 5 minutes out maneuvering this other person, and like you need that reward of having like a nice disgusting execution to finish off the match.
Like in fighting games there's not like any gore like versus like Grand Theft Auto. Like if I punch a guy in the face, maybe blood will come out, but that's about it. Like there's no visible marks or anything, and I think that's kind of the build up of all this, like, oh well, we could have gore here, but why don't we just build it all and put it at the end and make it just insane.
Yeah. So it is actually for PC as well. It is $60, which I'm not going to pay because I'm not a Mortal Kombat fan. I just wanted to comment on that. But I don't know if you've heard, but Mortal Kombat actually came a little bit under fire because they're selling... So it's a $60 game, keep this in mind. But they're selling, essentially, they're called Easy Fatality tokens. And they don't impact... Like fatalities are purely cosmetic. Like, they occur after the match has actually been won, so they don't impact, like, the skill of the match. But what these tokens do is they make it easier to execute a fatality. Now, I don't know why it's difficult to execute a fatality in the first place, because
I've literally never... I think there's like I don't know if there's a special combo, but it's not, the thing is it's just not common. Like there's no fatality at the end of every match.
Oh, really? So yeah. Do you know what you have to do to do a fatality?
No clue. Because I'm guessing it's like a specific combo, or like you have to end with something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a specific combo because I've played one of the Mortal Kombat games on Xbox, and like if you end with like a specific combo, they get a fatality, which is like a cool, the cool ending thing.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, these tokens apparently make it easier to do fatalities. I don't know how much the developer... I don't even know the developer of the game. That's how much I don't play Mortal Kombat. But like I don't know how much they're charging for these tokens, but like people were just complaining how they're spending $60 on a game, and then these like the game is essentially asking you for even more money, which is ridiculous. Like the thing is, like, cosmetic DLC, not DLC, but like paying for better cosmetic sort of things in game, I'm okay with. Hence, Team Fortress 2. But like,
I think it's different with this game though. Like, I think the backlash is because like you have to be really good to earn a fatality. Like, you have to time it in such a way and like not kill the person before you can get this specific thing going down. In order to get this going on, and I think that's why people are upset, because like now you can just do it, and it's a reward for being rich, right?
Okay, yep.
And so I just looked it up. It's $5 for $1 and $30 for $5.
Okay, yeah.
So
and like you don't get them back. They disappear once you use them apparently. But like Yeah, like that you take away some of the skill of getting some of the bigger rewards of the game.
Yeah,
Um, to me, I guess like cosmetic type stuff is okay. I think the controversy was more around people are sick of, and I'm gonna borrow from what Total Biscuit said. People are tired of being milked for every dollar that they have. I think companies like this, or at least the administration of developing companies like this, is like, okay, well, we have some serious dedicated fans and we're going to take advantage of their dedication to get more money out of them essentially. And like I
that does
think
bother me.
that's super douchey.
Like,
Like
and you know, this is kind of a new thing. Like when we were kids, obviously this was not a thing. Um, and it's kind of emerged very slowly over time, and now it's like I think the thing that really bothers people is now it's like, oh, if you make a game, you've got to find a way to get someone's money. Like you can't survive unless you or
make
like
more
you
than
can't
$60 per game.
exactly like that's the thing is like every game company ever has hopped onto this bandwagon like hey let's charge people for this and let's charge people for that and it's like we're just sick of it like I want to earn all my stuff I want like have you ever played oh shoot now I'm blanking it's a racing game on the Xbox Forza
Forza?
Motorsport
No, I haven't played it.
Forza Motorsport. So the new one, the newest one on Xbox, they made you buy cars. Like it was, and it's
Like
one of those
better
like
cars
Hearthstone,
or like
yeah,
side grade type of
like
cars.
better cars. It was one of those like Hearthstone type of deals where like it's way harder to get the car if you don't pay for it, but if you drop $100 on this really nice car, you've got it like that. Literally $100. Like you could buy one of the nicer cars for hundreds of dollars. That to me
That's so dumb.
removes the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
Your point is to race, get money, get new cars. If you can just buy into getting all these cars, what's the point? There's no point. And I don't honestly think that game sold well because that's just that's so frustrating. Like it's just dumb. And that's an EA thing. That's like, of course
Yeah.
it's an EA thing, but
Um, so like, I'm gonna again steal from Total Biscuit sentiments, but he was basically like, this feels like a decision that was tacked on by a board member at like the last second, essentially.
yep.
Like, because he said like developers would have more respect for the consumer in terms of like, okay, we want to make this really nice game where people are impressed and not try to piss them off, which we know, like do people not know that this will make at least some people angry in terms of being milked for even more money? Like how as and I don't even know what the position would be, but just as administration from a developing company, how would you logically go, okay, we're going to include this thing, and hopefully people won't hate us?
I know.
Like that shouldn't be your logic. Like yeah,
They
you're getting
will
more
hate you.
money, but you're taking advantage of your
Yeah.
customers. That's just so dumb.
Like,
I don't know.
like if you, I don't like it's both like oh it's a business model they're trying to make money as Sky would say we're all playing the game but honestly like it's not like you have to draw the line between
Making
like
a quality product?
yeah
you're
no
trying
like
for?
selling the full product as one thing. I don't know where I'm going with this. But like,
Well, okay. Look at it this way: $60 for a game
is a
which
lot.
is a lot. Like, okay, the dollar has degraded from when we were kids, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's still a lot of money. You know, us in terms of being teenagers. Which okay, so teenagers. Okay, so let me actually rephrase that. High schoolers to college age students, I would argue, is the majority of most games' consumer base. Okay, high school to college age consumers are most likely going to be working minimum to barely above minimum wage jobs, okay, that means that $60 is a lot to these people.
It's like 8 hours. It's like an 8-hour shift. That's even more than an 8-hour shift.
And like that's a long time, dude. 8-hour shifts blow. But well, that's just reality, whatever. But I mean, it really depends on your job. Anyway, regardless, being like trying to milk these people for more money just to, I don't know, take advantage of their dedication. And, you know, some might argue that, like, well, nobody's really being harmed in this process because the person buying these tokens is, like, knowingly foregoing their money. Like, they're making the decision.
Yeah, it's consensual.
It's not yeah, exactly. But, like, that, I don't like it.
I know.
Feels douchey.
And I like, we have a buddy that his mentality is he's like, I will spend the money on the game, but I will never spend any extra money for anything that's not mandatory, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to play Hearthstone way too much until I have all the cards, right? Until I get all the gold to get all the cards. I will never spend any money. And that's a good mentality because I don't want to spend all my money, but it's just so much easier. And honestly, it's so much more fun. Like, Hearthstone sucks unless you have good cards.
Yeah.
That's just bottom line. It sucks.
Yep.
It's not that fun. And, like, another, the Forza example, that game is literally pointless unless you spend money and enjoy the satisfaction of having these cool cars. Or, like, like, League of Legends, another example. It sucks unless you have the top tier champions, which may be cheap, may not be cheap, depends,
Yeah. And, like, okay, free to play games I could see in terms of, like,
yes,
grinding out stuff because you really didn't pay any money for the game.
That makes sense.
But, like, I think when games that increase the amount of grinding in the game at the expense of, like, opening up an option to essentially speed up your gameplay is a little bit annoying because that means that, okay, the person who is going to pay, $200 for cards in Hearthstone, for example, is, well, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. It's like
it just sucks, man.
People are, I don't know. It's like people are willing to spend the money to skip grinding, and that's.
I like I kind of like World of Warcraft's model. Although World of Warcraft, you have to pay $15 a goddamn month.
Not anymore with the WoW tokens.
Oh,
with the WoW tokens,
30,000 gold would take me more than a month's worth of time, just because I suck. But a lot of people can do that in a day. They're just like, boom. Point being,
because they're obsessed.
Yes. They sell like cool stuff like mounts and like pets and stuff. That's cool. Do that. I don't care. Mounts and pets specific to buying. That's not a reward. That's just you have a cool mount now. Like with the Mortal Kombat thing, you're literally giving people with money a reward, right? Like, you're giving them and that's fine, but you're giving them a reward that should be earned by being good. And you don't have to be good when you pay money. And that's, I don't like. But if you're just, like, if you want to buy a cool skin for Scorpion, by goddamn do it. I don't care. That's cool. But it just bothers me when, like, you literally, you remove skill and you remove the amount of time it takes with money.
Yeah. And, I mean, yeah. Some people would say, well, there's a market there to be exploited because there are people who are willing to skip, grinding and stuff. But that's the thing. You have to keep the game at, X level of grinding. And when you increase this X level of grinding to X times 2, but then include an option to skip that extra grinding, that's when it gets annoying.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's our rant for the day.
That's our rant for the day.
Do you have other topics, or can we talk about this whole argument that we both watched, kind of?
Oh, sure.
Because that'd be a good topic, I think.
Yeah. Well, okay. Do you want to go about introducing it?
Yeah,
Cause
sure.
okay,
So what happened is, a streamer by the name of Sky, don't know his other name, it's Sky
his
Williams or something like
username is
that.
Sky. He streams on Twitch a lot.
Yeah,
He's a black
he's a
gay
league.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a black gay dude league player, all fine and dandy, right? And he made a video going out and saying, "Oh, women who flaunt their boobs on Twitch stream for money are ruining it for all other women." And you can go watch the video because I'm not going to directly quote him, but basically he was like, "You're a dick if you do this," and I mean, he started kind of talking, or no, he reached out, I think, and talked to Casey Tron, and I think Casey Tron's friend.
Destiny, who
Destiny.
is also a Twitch streamer.
Yes.
So in the video he said he came from StarCraft. I don't know if he still does StarCraft.
Yeah.
He might do League. I have no idea.
And then eventually Total Biscuit hopped in, and I think a couple other people did. But I only watched like
Civ
an
HD.
hour of it, of 2 hours total. Yeah, Civ HD was also in there. So the point is my whole view on this whole women streaming thing completely changed from watching this video. And honestly, you should look it up. Just like Casey Tron arguing against female streamers is the first link you'll find it. But literally, like, I was with Sky at first. I was like, okay, these women are exploiting the fact that I have breasts to make money, right? That's the kind of the bottom line. And other women who don't want to show and flaunt their breasts are kind of at a disadvantage, right? And that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
So what Caseytron and Destiny kind of came up with was Caseytron. It's a bit, right? Like the whole thing that she does is a joke. She flaunts her boobs and she goes and acts stupid and doesn't play very well. And she's actually kind of an intelligent person from what I've kind of mustered from the conversation. At least she's not as dumb as she is on stream. So
Yeah.
that's what I know. But she kind of brought up that, like, this whole thing, like, I'm an entertainer. She's an entertainer. That's what she said. I'm an entertainer. And that she does not she's not just flaunting her breasts and saying, "Come at me, boys," right? Like, she's not like asking teenagers to be like, "Hey, come message me and I'll give you BJ," right? She's just acting stupid on camera and just drinking in the insults that she gets. That's her kind of shtick. And she is one of very few that are both entertaining and flaunt their breasts. And I think it kind of spiraled out of control, and Sky did not know what he was talking about very much. Like, he kept bringing up the same arguments. But it kind of came to the conclusion that the female streamers that are both not entertaining and just have breasts out don't get views. They're not ending up on the top, few streamers of League of Legends or whatever. I mean, you have to be both entertaining, and I'm sure the breasts help, not gonna lie, but I don't think, like, the conclusion is that you have to be both. You have to be both entertaining and have breasts. To Twitch stream. No, but that was kind of, the bottom line. Do you want to add anything?
So I mean, basically what Sky said is that you have an advantage, like an unfair advantage in a market by being female, streaming, showing cleavage. That attracts male viewers essentially, because that is the heavy majority of Twitch viewers. So,
and gamers, honestly.
The counter argument to that, which is that people, so there are very few female streamers who are really big and also show cleavage, because that doesn't automatically make you like a huge streamer. Like, if you look at the front page of like League of Legends on Twitch, you might see 2 maybe female streamers, and I don't know. It's just like by for example, somebody like Casey Tron. Let's say Casey Tron disappeared from existence on Twitch. Her viewers would not automatically go seek out other female streamers. Like,
Yeah.
there's not just a straight advantage like that. Like people are going to seek out entertaining streamers, not necessarily boobs on Twitch, essentially. So
and another one
like,
of. Oh, go ahead.
oh well, that was, I don't know.
Another one of his arguments was, like, oh, you're like allowing these boys to like be risque, right? Like you're allowing men or little like teenage boys who don't have access to porn to like watch porn, right? That was his argument. Like that's bad. And I was like, okay, first of all, guys are gonna find a way.
Yep.
Even women. I don't know from experience because I'm not a woman, but I bet even women are gonna find a way to watch dirty things on the internet. Two, who cares? No one cares.
Yeah.
Nobody. Honestly, if it becomes an addiction and a problem, then it's bad. If it's like, oh, I'm just gonna watch this lady and my pee-pee's gonna tingle, that's not a problem. What's the problem with that? Seriously.
Nobody talks like that. Anyway, continue.
No, I mean, look, if you're 10 years old, you don't know what it's called. Or if you're like,
Okay. Well,
look, if you're
okay,
10 years old and you're homeschooled and don't ride the bus, you don't know what it's called.
Okay,
Anyways.
so, one of the other arguments that, oh crap, I think I just blanked again. No. Oh, okay, so it was like, alright, so Casey Tron gets a lot of insults when she's streaming, like, oh, you're a whore, you're a slut, etc., etc. Sky made the argument that by allowing these insults to pass through into the Twitch chat, you're encouraging people to like insult these women because they get a kick out of it, essentially. So like his argument was that because you are allowing these people to insult you and they're like going to get used to that and just do that a lot, he said that other female streamers would have the potential to be harmed because they're all of a sudden going to get the same sort of viewers who are going to insult the female streamer, call her a slut, call her a whore, even if she's not even like showing cleavage or anything.
Yeah.
It was just like a fact of encouraging
Insults.
basically, yeah, just calling people mean things. And they're like, honestly their counter argument was pretty good in that like it's not their responsibility to sort of parent these people. Like it's not your responsibility as an entertainer to develop what your audience, like how your audience will treat other people. I don't know, it was like a little bit too unrelated. Oh, where am I going with this? I feel like I'm not articulating this well enough. But it was like,
No, I mean that makes sense. Like it's not their responsibility.
yeah, it's like, okay, so let's say some 12-year-old watches your stream, calls you a whore, feels happy, and goes to another person's stream, calls them a whore. Like that's not your fault as an entertainer, you know?
No.
Like it's
that's the honestly. Oh gosh, this is into a whole other thing. But like, if you're it's sticky. It's a sticky situation because you don't. I mean, it kind of is encouraging, but it's also not. You know, it's not their fault, right? Like, it's not. They're not. It's not their job to parent. But they might go to other people's streams and be like insulting and call them names and all that stuff, and it's hard even for a parent to parent that because you have no visible, like record of this, right? Like you're on the internet anonymous. Your parents can't come in and be like, "Hey, stop swearing," when you're not swearing out of your mouth.
Right.
But like, it's still not their responsibility, and that just like if you're 12, like I played Xbox and I was a huge dick on the Xbox when I was 10, right?
And that's not the fault of the game.
That's not the fault of the
itself?
game. Yeah.
That's just,
Exactly.
like, yeah. I don't know.
And I think kids will be kids, and that's, boys will be boys, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
it's just a thing, you know?
I don't like that statement either. Like
I don't either,
I
but
mean, it's somewhat true, but like I just don't like how that's used. Um,
I had another thing in my head.
I
But
know, so did I. I can't. I
I don't
forgot.
remember now.
There are two cats like sitting on my bed, and like I'm fearing at any moment that they're just gonna go at it. So I'm like half concerned that something's gonna break out behind me. What was I talking about? Some
Don't
podcast
remember.
this is.
Yeah,
Empty air.
right?
You know, sometimes empty air is okay. It means that you're
Yeah.
thinking. Um, but so anyway, I was saying, so like, the thing is, on the internet, you like, there's a level of expectation that people will be douchier because essentially, like, you have a keyboard to hide behind. So it's like you're not going to. Okay, so unless you introduce real names, almost like a Facebook type of atmosphere,
Yeah.
you're not like people are going to be douches essentially.
I was gonna say a couple things, unless you want to continue. I'm sorry. I
Oh
keep
well,
interrupting.
the only other thing is like Twitch is a little bit of an extremity in
Yeah.
that regard, in that like their chat is a cesspool of people just spamming stuff. But I think that's almost a side effect of having the amount of viewers that a lot of the top streamers have. Like 30,000 people typing into a chat.
At once,
That's
yeah.
going to be insane,
Yes.
regardless of if they're angels or not. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So a couple things, and I'm going to use the examples of teachers. For one of them is, so if you have a teacher that's not very authoritative, right? He just like, you don't know what it is. You can't like pinpoint like their actions that aren't like authoritative, but this person cannot control the classroom, right? That I think is something that could similarly be the case for Twitch streamers, right? If you do not tolerate hate, there's gonna be hate, but honestly, it'll dwindle. It'll eventually go down if you just have that mindset and attitude and good mods, to be honest.
yeah.
And that was kind of another kind of argument to like, oh, other people are going to come and make insults to other women. It's like, well, if you're an authoritative person and don't tolerate that, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Another thing.
I think
go ahead.
there are almost like filters on Twitch. Like if
Yeah.
I think you can enable something on Twitch where like if somebody says like you're a whore in chat, Twitch will catch the word whore and then just like ban you by
Yep.
or
I mean, they
otherwise,
don't. They just
you-
like take the text out. It's like
Yeah.
this message has been removed or something like that.
Yeah, I mean you can ban words. I'm not sure if you can ban people by saying words.
Yeah.
But or maybe they'll get like a warning or something. I don't know, but that would be cool if actually they could do that. To be honest.
I know. Oh, I forgot my other thing. Dang it. Well, we can move on because I don't think it was that important. The main thing was I was going to say is you can be authoritative.
All right. Well, we've got about 5 minutes left. We've been recording for about 55 minutes, and I guess the last thing I maybe want to wrap stuff up with is, as long as you have Shadowrun behind you, I wanted to ask you if you've read any more of that book. Like how far are you into it?
I'm still. I don't know how far I was last time, but I'm about 150 pages in.
Out of
160 out of 400.
okay,
500.
so you're about a third of the way through.
Yeah.
Anything
I
interesting to comment on?
I basically just started combat, and have been kind of going through that a little bit. It's pretty complicated. Like
It is.
Accuracy, and like who goes first, and like depending on your weapon, all this kind of stuff goes down. It's pretty nuts.
Aren't there a lot of calculations and like a lot of dice rolls that you need to make?
Yes. So like, let me give you an example. So let's say you're going to shoot a guy in the face, right?
Okay. Natural.
Yeah. So you have agility, which is one of the skills attached with shooting your gun, and you have another ability which I haven't kind of figured out yet, and both of those added together add up to your dice pool, right? So you also have a gun's accuracy, which I think is the maximum amount of hits that you can have. And if you go over those hits, it's like a surplus, and you can use those for other things, I think. Or no. Okay, so let's say I roll a dice, or I roll like 12 dice, because you have 6 agility and 6 of the other ability. So I roll 12 dice, and I get 4 hits, which is a 5 or a 6.
Okay.
Or
above, or like exactly?
Like a 5 or a 6 on
Okay.
any dice. So say I have 4 and my gun's accuracy is 2. So I, as the game master, understand that if it were below 2, I would probably miss, right? Or if it's above 2, I have to make up something like you shoot him in the head and his head explodes because it was just such an intense and accurate shot, right?
Okay.
Because I had 2 net hits is what they're called. So extra hits based on the gun's accuracy.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
So those are those almost like flare points? Like you just like something amazing happens, or like
Yeah, sort of.
how do they carry over exactly?
So because of the accuracy of 2 and the net hits, or the hits of 4, I made the 2 of the shots makes it a hit, right? So I hit him in the face, and then the extra 2 determines what happens, right?
Oh, okay.
Sort of. And that's something that I think is going to be kind of difficult in the beginning, just kind of figuring that out, because
Improv.
yeah, that's the thing, is I have to roll and then immediately be like, you shoot him and he does a triple backflip because it was just so awesome. Or like you shoot him and it glazes his cheek and nothing happens, right?
Grazes.
So like glazes.
Just to make sure somebody
Just
doesn't
like a
go,
donut,
oh, did
like,
you mean
flying.
graze at 5903?
Oh,
He has like a donut on his cheek that he's just
Yeah.
like, oh, yum, yum, rub it on his cheek, make it all glazy.
Oh boy. But yeah, that's the gist of combat. So it's kind of a mess. And also you have like things like if you want to fix your bike, you have to like decide how long it takes, and then you have to like roll based on that. And if you roll this many, like you complete it in like a month. Or if you roll
Like
too
a
little,
month?
yeah, literally it takes forever. Or and
What?
you know what happens is if you roll too little, I can be like, you're fixing your car, but someone comes up to you and holds a gun to your head and is like, get up, and you have to like go through all this situation. So I can like make stuff up based on like, it's really weird.
You know,
it's
okay,
complicated.
let me ask this, because so the thing about is it an issue to have like a dungeon master or a game master that's just an asshole to like specific people?
I don't think so. Because that's what the math is for. Because if you get enough hits on something, I can't make something bad happen.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or like there's also something called glitches, which is if you roll a 1, and if you roll no hits, it's called a critical glitch, so like something really bad happens. But a glitch would be like you trip and fall and drop your gun, and you have to wait until next turn to pick it back up and shoot again.
Okay.
So like I can't do anything to be a huge dick because there's math there to like counteract that.
Okay. Because,
So-
yeah, I was just wondering, because, like, if that was an issue, because certain people could
Yeah.
take advantage of situations like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And honestly, like with the rules, I think it'll be beneficial for us to like remove a couple things, because like with the whole time limit thing, if I'm fixing your bike, I can just be like, okay, you fix the bike. Like I don't have to roll for that.
Yeah, like, that might be one of those components that's, like, just unfun.
Yeah, and you know, I think the point of it is like to keep it very realistic, and the people that write this book have to accommodate for literally everything.
Yeah, that's
Every single outcome, every single like storyline, everything. So they have to put in certain stuff like that to kind of even out everything and make sure it works
Okay.
smoothly.
So, Shadowrun's looking good. Honestly, like that, like so, I've seen a little bit of the book, and it does look pretty awesome. Like they had pictures of some of the weapons, and like I don't know, those look super cool. So, I'm excited to play that game, and you obviously are because you want to be GM. So, yeah, looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we'll wrap up the show. We are about an hour in. That's about our usual sort of mark that we shoot for every podcast. So yeah, if you want to find Eric, he can be found at Eric W. Jacobson on Twitter. Really quick thing, what do you do with your Twitter account exactly? I
mostly just tweet jokes that I think are funny.
Just like, are they like retweets from like comedians and stuff? I
could do that too, but I also like here. I'll give you a joke that I wrote that may or may not be funny. I'll try and find a funny one.
Okay, so like I don't know. Eric doesn't have a YouTube channel, but we would like to advertise him in some way, and he does stuff on Twitter that's comedy oriented.
This is harder to search for than I thought.
Are you screenshotting?
No, I'm just trying to look for a tweet that's funny.
Oh well, I mean they'll get the gist if they check it out. So yeah, otherwise, obviously, you can find me on my own channel. This video is going to be posted there. So hey, if you're watching this for the first time in terms of my first video, I did not phrase that well. But anyway, okay, I got a message.
That's me. That's an example of a tweet that I thought was funny that I tweeted.
Emojis allow us teenagers to express our teen angst and cleverly disguise it as a few cute monkeys. Did you want me to show this?
You can, I don't care.
Oh, okay. This is, I think, I actually froze your camera by accident. I don't know. I feel like this won't work.
If it doesn't work, don't do it. But point is, says there's a few monkeys, and it says translates to "What the fuck, mom?"
Right. So
I thought that was funny in my head.
Go check out Eric if you like emojis and monkeys. Check out me if you like podcasts like this. We do them every Wednesday. We're actually doing this on Thursday because Wednesday didn't work out. And that's the show. So thank you all for watching. Feel free to leave a rating down below. Leave a comment and all that good stuff. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.